We've got Sophie Cunningham getting her own shoe, and everybody losing their pathetic little minds over it. Well, not everybody. Old WNBA fans, old guard WNBA fans, are losing their mind over the white girl pointing at her brand new shoes. Yeah, that's what.
If you catch her on the court, you might just notice something unique about her footwear. An exclusive colorway of the Adidas Crazy Energy is launching on July 24th for $120, featuring a vibrant pink to white gradient, sky blue mesh accents, and bold orange highlights along the midsole. The moment her name was attached to the design, the digital world simply erupted.
These old fans crash out, lose their mind, and scream white privilege. It is hilarious watching these people melt down over the most minuscule things, over the smallest little things. Watching these folks melt down, go hysterical, lose their mind, rant, rave, complain. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
It wasn't because of widespread celebration, though. It was because a very specific segment of the online community felt absolutely incensed. The backlash was immediate, with comment sections overflowing, forums buzzing, and hot takes flying everywhere. Yet through all that vitriol, one reality became crystal clear. Sophie Cunningham is occupying serious real estate in their minds, and she has been for quite some time now.
Sophie Cunningham, the blonde bomber, is coming out with shoes. These are so dope. These are her PE colorways coming out with Adidas. Oh my God, Sophie Cunningham, man, just keeps getting better and better by the day, man. I hope these are for men as well, man, because I would like to cop these, man. These are hella dope. Very Sophie type of shoes, man. Like, I don't know, I just look at these and I just see Sophie just all over them, man. These are perfect. And
in this breakdown, we are pulling apart the details of this release and the surrounding controversy. We will explore why much of that negativity actually reflects more on the critics than on Cunningham herself, and why this sneaker is positioned to be a massive commercial success regardless of the noise coming from the peanut gallery.
Sophie Cunningham shoe, a PE for Sophie Cunningham got announced. A player exclusive, player edition, whatever PE stands for. She's got her own kind of shoe style. It's coming out. And man, these old guard bitter fans, they are collapsing right in front of our very eye. They're going through a mental breakdown, a psychotic break.
To truly grasp why this announcement triggered such a strong reaction, you have to look at the transformation Sophie Cunningham has undergone over the last year. She isn't some newcomer who materialized out of thin air. She has been a fixture in the WNBA since 2019. After 6 seasons with Phoenix, she moved to Indiana in 2024. Throughout that tenure, she established herself as a reliable, gritty rotation player, a tough defender, and a dependable deep threat shooter, but she remained largely out of the mainstream spotlight.
Really, DB is the one that did something extra, and then Caitlin got the text. So I walked out there and I was literally talking to the ref. Say your DB. I was like this with the ref. I was like, now Caitlin got one, but why didn't she get one? Because if Caitlin's gonna get one, then she should have got one. It shouldn't have been one or the other. And I was just kind of pointing, and she's like, don't you point at me. And I was like, oh, shouldn't have said that. And I didn't say a word.
That changed on June 22nd, 2026. During a heated interaction between DeWanna Bonner and Caitlin Clark, Cunningham intervened. When Bonner told her to stop gesturing, Cunningham simply held her point for 22 consecutive seconds. It took staff intervention to finally guide her toward the bench. Both players received technical fouls, and the footage went viral instantly. It captured the attention of the WWE and even the White House, becoming the defining meme of the season. Suddenly, Cunningham was one of the most recognizable faces in women's basketball, not because of a box score, but because she stood her ground when conventional wisdom said she should back down.
About where you're going to take this next, like what? Because you know, how do we grow the points? What could it be? Do you know what I mean? Have you given this any thoughts?
I didn't even give.
By the end of 2025, Google's year in search data identified the 10 most searched athletes in the United States, and Cunningham landed at number 7. Remarkably, she was the only woman on the list, having surpassed even Caitlin Clark in search volume. When Adidas surveyed their roster to determine who should anchor a signature-level launch, they weren't guessing. They were following the undeniable momentum of the data.
Cunningham's signature shoe, I'm not gonna lie, this shoe looks amazing, man. I might have to get me a pair. Now, I don't really have anything pink, so that means I'll probably have to go out and get me a pink shirt or some pink shorts or something, just so it can go with this, man, because these shoes are
The shoe itself is objectively striking. It features a hot pink toe that transitions gracefully into white toward the heel, complemented by light blue details on the mesh panels and the signature 3 stripes branding. The orange pops on the midsole provide a sharp contrast. It is an unapologetic, bold aesthetic that perfectly mirrors the personality of a player who stood at the free throw line in her former home of Phoenix and gestured to the entire arena after clinching a road win. Furthermore, this is a milestone for Adidas, as Cunningham is the first WNBA player to receive this level of support from the brand since Candace Parker, which is no small feat.
People are in their feelings and upset. They always in their feelings and upset if anything that's connected to Caitlin Clark has anything positive going on. But when it comes to shoes, y'all do know, and I'm talking to all the people way in the back that just don't understand. Y'all do know that this is business, right? And when it comes to WNBA players, right? Sophie Cunningham is top 5 in followers on every platform when it comes to WNBA players. So yes, she should be one of the ones that get a shoe, because that's business.
Naturally, the detractors arrived in full force the moment the news broke. The most repetitive argument centers on her career average of 8.0 points per game, with critics weaponizing that stat to argue she is unworthy of a signature release. The internet is littered with these takes, with some users crafting lengthy threads or heated debates on X, specifically highlighting other players they believe were more deserving, often in a manner that exposes the underlying biases fueling their rage.
Based off of racism, because this player in her career has averaged 8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. Shoes used to mean something. It was like you are at the top of your game in your sport. Players like Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, Diana Taurasi, Sabrina Ionescu, Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, they're actually doing well in the sport. In the same way that in corporate America, white men utilize their privilege of being white men to continue to climb the ladder, Sophie Cunningham has used her proximity to Caitlin Clark and her racist fan base in order to propel herself forward when people who actually deserve it are not given that opportunity.
We need to address the racial undertones here, as they are far from subtle. The resistance to Cunningham's success is intertwined with the same toxic currents that have plagued WNBA discourse for years. While some criticism is rooted in legitimate sports debates regarding marketing and visibility, a massive portion of the vitriol directed at Cunningham stems from those specifically agitated by the prominence afforded to her and Caitlin Clark. When these critics claim she is undeserving, they are using coded language. Caitlin Clark herself has spoken out against the racism directed at players, and Cunningham has noted that this behavior long predates Clark's arrival, with the league stars often being used as pawns in broader cultural conflicts.
What resources does the league provide for you guys as players to kind of help you try to filter through some of the hate and negative things that come through on social media?
I think that honestly, I don't know what our league does to help with that. If they really do anything. You can put out statements as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you're in an entertainment business. That's when mental toughness comes in. If you're going to live by praise, you're going to die by the hate. And so I think that's on the individual person to have mental toughness. Some people can deal with it, some people can't. And I think you can see the ones who can, and unfortunately there are some who can't, and it's not beneficial to them. But you can't control what other people say or what other people do. All you can do is control yourself, how you treat people, speak up, and support people who, maybe don't have a voice or don't have the courage to do that. But it's one of those things. You're in the entertainment business and you have to expect it.
When you strip away the bad faith arguments about scoring averages, the commercial reality is simple. Cunningham is currently the second most popular player in the league and was the most searched female athlete in America last year. She generated a viral moment that reached corners of the internet most sports clips never touch, and she has maintained a genuine documented partnership with Adidas since 2022. Popularity is the primary commodity here, and with her massive reach, she is far more famous right now than many players with more traditional statistical resumes.
Here we go! This is gonna be fun. Everyone gets one, and I have like 6, 7 pairs here.
Oh, 6, 7? Oh, see? They're real. They're real.
Only All-Stars wear them. That's why mine are still in the box.
Sophie Cunningham?
I'm busy.
Wow!
The argument regarding her scoring stats is easily the weakest angle in this entire situation. Do people really believe that footwear brands ignore cultural presence and brand fit when deciding on player-exclusive releases? These collaborations are specifically designed for athletes who carry cultural weight, not just high point totals. Cunningham earned this through her authentic personality. She didn't manufacture that iconic pointing moment. It was a natural byproduct of her being an unbothered, competitive, and loyal athlete. She told her critics to let me live earlier this year, and that remains her defining attitude.
Refuses a strange spin. Spiders. Not there. Stopper with the rebound. We got a whistle. And we're headed back the other way.
Down 10. And I mean, they just came back with a vengeance. An absolute vengeance.
As for whether the shoe will perform well, the answer is an emphatic yes. The very people currently shouting in the comment sections are the ones who will be watching the sales numbers like hawks, hoping for a flop to validate their claims. They won't get that satisfaction. The Fever fanbase, and specifically the contingent supporting Caitlin Clark, is one of the most commercially active groups in all of sports. They set attendance records and move merchandise consistently. Beyond them, a well-executed $120 performance shoe with a compelling cultural story is a product with immense market potential. The critics will likely find themselves disappointed when the sales receipts come in.
Mad. They're charging $120 for a role player. I see why Adidas is always coming in last place. I mean, look. In this league, let's be real. The #1 trending female athlete last year on Google was Sophie Cunningham. On Google. And that was before the viral meme that took.
Consider the trajectory. 10 days of intense scrutiny, and yet here we are. Sophie Cunningham started the season wearing $45 sneakers in games, and now she is launching her own $120 performance shoe. That is the power of staying true to yourself, refusing to quiet your voice, and capitalizing on a moment that captured the global imagination. The haters can keep typing, but on July 24th, Sophie Cunningham will be pointing right at them as she continues her ascent.